guys, Ralph here, and welcome to True Power Trumpet Fitness on this terrific Tuesday here in Connecticut. And life is good. Did you have a great weekend? I did, man. I did. Nothing better than spending 3 straight days with my 2 girls. I don't care what we're doing. That's it for me. Anyway, you saw the thumbnail. Anybody and everybody can have great chops. Case closed. I don't care what you say. Case closed. Let's get to it, and we'll talk more. Anyway, hellacious, magnificent, wide open. Double C's, a little barbed wire, and then we caress the baby. Anyway, anybody and everybody can have great chops. Unless there is some physical deformity that renders you unable to do those couple things, there's no reason that you can't have double C's. I have had 10-year-old kids play double C's. I have had 90-year-old gentlemen play double C's. I have had mentally handicapped individuals play double C's. I've had guys with diabetes. I mean, please, guys, anybody can have great chops. Anybody. Now, what you do with those chops is going to decide whether you're going to be a star or whatever. Guys, I know lots of guys playing in community bands and local jazz bands and all this sort of stuff that have tremendous chops. I've got kids, high school kids, that are playing G's and A's that will make a professional blush. That doesn't mean they're professionals. Guys, what you do with it, that is up to you and how far you get in the music world. Okay? But guys, there is always going to be a demand for people with great chops. Always. It's as simple as that. Now, again, what you do with it is a different story. Now, there's a lot of great players that do not have great chops. I don't think Clark Terry, we've talked about this, as extraordinary as he was, he had excellent chops, especially when he was younger. But as he got older, he did not have great chops. Now, his scat singing and his jazz ability and everything was extraordinary. He was still a star. That's what I'm saying. But the chops, for much of his career, were not great in the traditional sense. Guys, I've talked about this before, there are dozens of guys holding down big-time orchestral jobs that don't even have mediocre chops. I mean, have pretty bad chops, actually. The musicianship gets them through. Vacchiano himself didn't have, his chops weren't as good as Herseth, but he could do anything. Mental gymnastics, please. He could play any orchestral excerpts on any key, on any trumpet, and that's what got him through. Something that somebody might play on a C trumpet, he might do on a D trumpet, and along those lines, and sound tremendous. But his actual chops, I wouldn't call them great in the traditional sense. Mel Broyles and John Ware, both, and he admits it, had better chops than he does. Phil Smith had better chops than he does. But he was an extraordinary, extraordinary player. So the great chops is not necessarily if you have extraordinary musical talent, you can get by without having the great chops. But why would you? Why would you? When I'm telling you, you get yourself a 1SB and anybody can have great chops. Okay? And it does, as we know, it doesn't even take a lot of practice. In many regards, I think a lot of guys are practicing too much. Okay? Now, anybody can have great chops. Now, the beauty of True Power and Jerry's stuff, which is completely 100% the only system that can do what I said, what I'm about to say, is it allows you to be a chameleon. With a 1SB mouthpiece and the relaxation, you can sound like Maurice Andre, you can sound like Herseth, you can sound like Vacchiano, you can sound like Harry James, you can sound like Maynard, you can sound like whoever you want. You can be one of these little delicate guys in the brass quintets. Anything you want, any trumpet you want, any type of music you want. When it is relaxed as we are in True Power, you can deviate from the timbre any time you want. Now, whenever I have somebody come over here and sit in the studio, they agree, oh yeah, I can't display the timbre on this. I don't use reverb, you know what the deal is. So, but when guys sit here and they can't believe how I can sound like Maynard 1 minute, they can too, and Maurice the next. It's relaxation and a thick tone. That's all there is to it. And if you do that on a 1SB mouthpiece, anybody can have great chops. I can give you guys that have had great chops, but were not great musicians in the traditional sense. A lot of lead players, just by the sheer force of their tone and power and their range, were tremendous lead players and valuable and soloists in the whole 9 yards, but they didn't have the jazz ability that, perfect example. You know how much I love Lynn Nicholson, and I did something. Guys, he's not a great jazz player in the traditional sense. He couldn't dazzle you with the Arbin book in the traditional sense. But guys, he was in demand. He doesn't play anymore. He's an icon for the rest of his life because of those extraordinary chops. And I'm telling you guys, anybody and everybody can have them. And when you do that, the world is yours, Chico, and everything in it. Anyway, have a great day. We'll talk again tomorrow. Love you all.